would you guys give some advice to young parents like me with kids growing up in a Christian home and wanting to be careful to not give assurance of faith too early or too hastily, but wanting to feed them on Christ and give them the gospel and for them to be saved, and that being our utmost prayer, our greatest desire? Maybe not even relative to your own experience, but just what you would, as pastors, advise now in your church to families like my own, in how to bring kids up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord, how to deal with that conversion experience thoughtfully, carefully, and not in any way discouraging. Any thoughts? I'm sure you're asked that often as pastors. I know I am, but my wisdom seems short-lived. I'm trying to figure it out too while I'm in the midst of it. So I know I'd benefit from your input. Ray?
Well, I think that our children need to hear the same gospel that everybody else hears. And a little booklet that helped me in something I want to just sort of work my way around to is by Ian Murray, called Spurgeon and Hyper-Calvinism. And taking Spurgeon as a 19th century test case showed how Spurgeon wisely pastorally handled the question of God's electing, predestining choice vis-a-vis the open, free offer of the gospel. Jesus said, "Come to me." And he didn't say, "Come to me if you have a hunch that you may be among the elect." He just said, "Come to me." He didn't complicate it. And that was a bona fide offer. And that book by Ian Murray helped sort of settle my mind that I don't need to figure that out. I don't need to square the circle. I can't. I'm not smart enough. I know that election and predestination are true. I know that the free offer of the gospel is true. I can't quite put them together in my own mind. The gospel says they're both valid. I accept that. And a lot more could be said about that. But in relation to this question, let's tell our children, Jesus says, "Come to me." Our children need to hear that direct personal appeal, that open offer and invitation. They need to hear it again and again and again, as we do. I'm so thankful. I grew up in an environment where Jesus, a church environment and a home environment, where Jesus himself was always put forward as the friend of sinners, and with all sufficient salvation, and the question of my full surrender to Jesus Christ was never far away. And I think that we don't ask that question often enough anymore. We don't press that question upon young people as we ought to. So, a clear, smiling, happy, confident, loving, free offer of Jesus to our children with the message of full surrender, total surrender, no preconditions. I'll go anywhere the Lord wants me to go. I'll do anything, God helping me, the Lord wants me to do, and so forth. We've got to make that. We need to raise our children in that environment.
Is that always a one-night thing? Is that always a kitchen table experience?
No, for many people God doesn't use a cookie cutter with any of us, and he not only knows us, he understands us. He understands every one of us, and humbly personalizes his work to us. So, there are a lot of stories to tell.
Amen.
Any more? No? All right.